Is all about your user group. So please feel free whenever you have any questions or anything, you can post in the chat window. And okay, let's welcome everyone to your October meetup. And let me thank you, Hitachi Solutions, for the sponsorship of our meetup because we are hosted on the meetup platform. So thanks Hitachi Solutions for the sponsorship, and thanks Microsoft Dynamics Communities and D365 Champs for the support. So important link, our Dynamics Communities UZ link is here, and Power Platform User Group Meetup link is here. Actually, I'll post in the chat window later. If you want to join, you can join using this link to get updated what are the things coming up, any events are coming up, and every month actually we are organizing events. So UG link in the Microsoft community platform, the link also I will post. So what exactly this user group is? This user group mostly into Dynamics 365 Power Platform, apart from related product, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Virtualization, Power, mostly Power Platform related things. But here today we are going to have something deep dive into the AI and ML portion. So that's why we have a great speaker today with us. So let me introduce. We are having today Priyanka Shah. She is the manager and so as solution architect for analytics and AI in Avanet, and she has a lot of public speaking events you must have seen. If you go to the LinkedIn platform, you will see she is a speaker as well as blogger also, and having more than 10 years of experience in analytics, data, AI, ML. Those who are more interested towards AI, ML, maybe you can put up your question over here in the chat window. And if you have time, maybe at the end of the session, you can ask. So this is all about, and if you want to reach out to her, I'll share her Twitter handle and as well as LinkedIn. So today we are going to discuss about interesting topic, actually video analytics. Normally we knows, few of the people knows what exactly video analytics, few don't know what exactly video analytics. So it is one of the, I can say it's one of the important tool in the current scenario. So normally we have, like for example, I can think one of the event, let's say any terrorist activities, anything is happening, so we can guess, we can do the analytics part to understand what exactly things are there and how we can track it back. So this is one of the activity we can perform using the video analytics as well. Just what I understand from my research, a high level research. Maybe Priyanka will put light more into that. So just I'm not taking much time, so I'm handing over to Priyanka. Priyanka, welcome to Singapore Power Platform User Group meetup for October, and stage is yours. I'm handing over to you. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Golok. And hey all, good morning. And thank you for joining on a Saturday. Let's begin. Just a little disclaimer before I start. I would not be switching on my video. As I explained earlier, I'm at the Microsoft Office client side, sitting in a meeting room. So I'm ethically not allowed to, put on the video. All right. So yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Let's go. Before that, just a quick thing. We are having this global AI back together event on October 20th. All right, it's a meetup, and this global AI event is going to happen world over on these 3 days, 19, 20, 21st, right? So I think around 39 locations, and Singapore is hosting one, and we'll be having three very, very different topics. So we'll have Azure Percept, which, as you know, this is the immersive technology, right, for hosting your meetups and your virtual reality stuff. So we'll have people speaking about that. It will be a hands-on demo session plus a lot of interesting things with the Azure Percept toolkit. So I'm not sure if Azure Percept was talked about in any of our regular meetups. So this is like the first session for Azure Percept deep dive. There will be a session on quantum machine learning also, with a lot of good scenarios by a certified a developer, a quantum certified developer, and another panel discussion about the future of data science, AI, machine learning. All right. So I have posted the link in the chat window. Please do feel free to register. Right. All right, that being said, let us move on to our topic for the day, which is video analytics. All right. Okay. I see some question in the chat window. No, right? Nothing. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So the agenda would be something like this about video analytics concepts, how to detect, identify, specify models, and we will see it. So demos will be interspersed in between the entire session. And please feel free to halt me anytime. It's only a handful of attendees, and let's make this interactive. All right. So this is about me. I'm the Microsoft AI MVP, right? It's not newly crowned. Sorry, that has been almost 10 years now. Okay, so what are Azure Cognitive Services? So basically what happens is, typically a lot of people always come and ask us about, hey, you're doing video analytics, you're doing computer vision, you're doing custom vision. How is it different from what we typically do using Python packages like TensorFlow and Keras and OpenCV? Okay, so my answer to that is all these the Python notebooks and your Spark and PySpark code which you write typically is for building your own custom models. Okay, but for example, for detecting faces, for object detection, recognition, video frames, and keyframes recognition, there are certain fundamentals which remain the same. It's like your a basic formula on which your advanced thesis is based on, right? So I mean cloud providers currently are doing is they are packaging certain services as API, which you can directly use into your applications. So which means, for speech recognition, for image recognition, object detections, text translation, there are these base algorithms which you need not write and reinvent the wheel again, right? So try to like start again from the start again from the scratch and then write code to train your model. So there are models available out there and they are not going to change, right? So which means you can leverage quickly industry grade, enterprise grade APIs and plug them into your applications. So Azure Cognitive Services is your AI as a service offering from Azure Cloud, which is enabling you to bring AI within the reach of every developer, either by the use of SDKs or APIs. And you can typically create applications which can see, speak, decide, search. Okay, so for decision making, you have anomaly detector. Personalizer is based on reinforcement learning. Content moderation is moderating out your, what objectionable content. Web search is your Bing search, right? Bing video search, Bing image search, right? So you this is something like, you can have a picture of a flower and just ask the Bing image search, like, what is this? Is it a flower? Is it tulip? Is it rose? Whatever that is. Immersive reader, all of us know this feature in Teams as well, right? Then language understanding, so trying to have natural language processing abilities. Speech is speech to text translation, speech translation. Sorry. And vision is what we are going to cover today, right? So vision is able to see things, able to detect things, and then able to detect static as well as moving frames. All right. So this is just the usage, right? So use these cognitive services when you need to, when you can use a generalized solution. So let's say I want to have a face recognition solution, or I want to build a, biometric solution which can just recognize faces and detect faces and authenticate users. So need not reinvent the wheel and write all the training from scratch, right? So make use of already pre-built APIs, plug into your application, customize them as per your need. So this is when we'll use cognitive services. And machine learning is, of course, very specific use cases, advanced analytics, quite tailored to your enterprises. Then you will go for your custom machine learning. All right. For generic use cases, we can go ahead with the cognitive services. Okay. So before we move on, right, what happens is, when you see a face, when you and me as a human being, we see a face, what do we see? We see the face landmarks, like, what is the location of the nose, where are the eyes situated, what is the face structure, like it is square or round. But what happens when a computer sees, right? So when a machine, when we see that it is a vision API, computer vision, custom vision, what do they see? To enable it to detect faces and also detect objects. Like how does it know that this particular object is a bus, this particular object is a cat, this particular person, this particular object is a person's face, right? So when computer sees a face, it is basically seeing landmarks. Okay, so these are called the nodal points. So it is trained to identify the landmarks, like for example, the bridge, the nose bridge, the upper, generally, the location of the lip, the location of the eyes, eyebrows, a location of your nose, the nose ridge, and the space between your eyebrows and stuff like that. So these are called as nodal points, right? So when a machine sees a face or an object, it is basically trained to identify certain nodal points and then make a decision based on that. So whether this is a face, whether this is a tilted face, all right? So same way, what happens? So this is applicable to static images, right? So static images, this is about face. When you go to objects, it is one and the same thing. Basically, what it will do is it will chart out a rectangle, which is called as a bounding box. And that bounding box is nothing but coordinates, XY coordinates, which will tell you the location, the top right and the bottom, the top left and the bottom right, and detect that object. Okay, so object or a face. So this is for a face, same is applicable for an object. So what happens is the computer vision charts out a rectangle and then says that this is, according to my vision insight, this is the bounding box of the object. So bounding box is a very important concept in the world of computer and custom vision. Okay, so these nodal points are a set of easy to find points on the face, such as, the pupil size, the nose ridge and stuff. So in Azure face API, Vision API, 27 predefined landmarks are there. Okay. Now that the previous image was true for a static, the previous explanation was true for a static image. What happens when you have a moving image, right? So when you have speaking images and when you have the same person, so you trained your API, or sorry, you trained your algorithm to recognize the face of a person. So let's say you trained it to recognize the face of XYZ person. Okay, so now when it comes to video analytics, right? So now that person could be talking, moving from here to there, moving his head, and still the video analyzer has to detect that this is the same person, right? So which means it has to use the head pose attribute. What happens with objects is when you have a car which is moving, the car will not change its orientation if it is moving in a straight line. Of course, when it is swerving and when it is, taking a turn and stuff, yes. But most of the time, when the car is either in the front view or in the side view, the image APIs, the vision APIs are able to detect a car as a car. Not so with a person, because each person looks different, right? So when the person is talking to you in a front facing manner, or the head is tilted, or the head is turned sideways, or the head is turned upwards, then how is it possible for the vision to detect that, hey, this is the same person which my model was trained to identify, right? So this is something which is called as the head pose attribute. Okay, so this is the ability to programmatically crop faces in an image, and then ability to rotate the rectangle, and ability to match the features and say that, okay, these features are of the same person. So with the 80% or 90% probability, this is the same person in a side pose, or this is the same person in a a head tilted pose or head down pose, right? So there are certain mathematical concepts here, which is called roll and pitch and stuff like that. So no need for us to know these, because these are programmed into your Vision API, okay, or Vision services. So these are just the basics, the understanding which you need to know about before you actually start using that. So these are the how-tos or the concepts of your API. This is in no way related to what you will be actually doing when you consume the API, right? So for us to start using the API, just create an Azure account, create a video analyzer account and get started, right? Nothing Herculean there. Okay, so you can with these roll and pitch and angles, you know, the video analyzer has the ability to detect gestures like nodding and speaking and turning your head side to side, right? So this is also a feature of liveness detector. Liveness detector meaning it is the same person talking live or in live form. Okay, it's not I'm not placing a mask in front of the system and trying to spoof my entry in or spoof my identity in. Okay, so this sort of movement detection is a proof of the liveness gesture of that person or object. Okay. Now we have talked a lot about static images, right? So when it comes to analyzing videos in real time, there are multiple ways. Okay, so one way is infinite loop. So what happens is, because what is a video? Video is nothing but a moving stream or a quick running stream of static images, right? So it's a frame and it's a very rapidly moving frame of rapidly moving stream of frames. Okay, so how to analyze video in real time is grab a frame, analyze it and then send it back. Okay, so this could be an infinite loop, but typically that takes a lot of time. Like you are taking one frame, analyzing it. If that analysis takes a bit of time, then your second frame is delayed, right? So it's synchronous processing. If it is a synchronous processing, if you parallelize, what will happen? So if I have a video that is comprised of 100 frames, okay, so if I'm parallelizing it into maybe, you know, 4 calls of 25 frames each, there is no guarantee that I'm going to get all the frames analyzed in the order which I send them, right? So I send first 25 frames, in the second parallel call, I'm sending the second 25 frames and so on. But maybe my second call finishes faster because the frames are easier to detect and it sends me back the result. But then how do I know what is the order in which I sent and what is the order in which I'm receiving, right? So in infinite loop and parallelizing the API calls, there's a challenge of either, you know, missed frames or misordered in unsequenced frames. So what video analyzer does is it is based on a producer consumer design, right? So you send the thread, you parallelize it, you send the calls, you send the frames for analyzing, and then that there's a queue maintained. Okay, so there's a sender queue and there's a receiver queue, and then they will be sent in the order of, they will be queued in the order of processing. So I know that even if my second call comes first, that is not the queue in which I had sent the frames, and then I can, you know, I can stitch back that what I sent and what I received was the analysis for which frame, correct? Right, so this is typically a very high level working of your video analyzer. Of course, if you deep dive, there are a lot of nitty gritties, there are a lot of concepts which we will see about video analyzer. Before that, just to break the monotony, just look at the static image features. Okay, and then we will move on to the then we'll move on to the complex features. Okay, so for the static vision, see, basically when you come to video also, it is nothing but computer vision. All right, so when you move to video analytics, it is just an extrapolation of your static images to your dynamic images. So let us look at how beautiful a static image recognition and attributes is there, and then we will see quickly about the video API, right? So what happens is when you select an image, okay, so when you select an image, what the vision API is able to do, it is able to analyze the image and give you insights about the image. Okay, what does it do? It identifies objects in your image. Okay, so it has identified water, it has identified sky, it has identified skyscraper, it has identified that it is outdoor. Okay, it has identified that it has some sort of a reflection, it has identified that the picture is taken in a day setting, a daylight setting, right? And then it will generate a quick caption, which is the alternate text of your image. It's saying a city skyline with water. Not bad, right? Not bad. It can also moderate content. Okay, so is there any racy content, is there any adult content, is there any objectionable content in that image, right? So it all of that is output with some probability, of course, as is the case with all machine learning algorithms, right? What else can it do? It can read text in an imagery, which is optical character recognition. So if I have certain text in my images, it is able to extract it out, right? So here I have something called as 42 Street, then it is able to extract that out. It can also extract handwritten text. So let's say, you have receipts which you want to feed and extract out the text. Okay, form recognition, right? Detection of tables, detection of numbers inside that. So even it can detect handwritten text and extract out the handwritten text from your image, right? It can also recognize celebrities and landmarks. So, machine learning algorithms that are pre-trained on huge pre-trained image such like ResNet, ImageNet, GoogleNet and stuff where, it is trained to recognize celebrities, landmarks, popular places, right? So, yeah, so which means, it becomes easier for you to analyze your image. So, the most common use case here is some friend sends you a photo, right? So let's say it is of a stone henge somewhere, and you just want to check out whether this is real or this is some fake setting. And typically you can give that image to the image API, recognition API, and ask it that what is this, and it will try to describe that. What this image is. So it is Machu Picchu in Peru, or it is, depending on the image, it seems that this is staged or this is a fake. Okay, so deep fake recognition and deep fake analysis, all these are also possible with the computer vision API, right? So all these things, right? These are just ready to consume APIs. I will show you the code. I will show you the APIs here. So you just need to create your Azure account. You need to create your subscription. You need to create the proper resource, cognitive services resource for custom vision or computer vision, and that's it. And follow the APIs to consume for image recognition, or whether for optical character recognition, object detection, celebrity detection. So all of these things, each of this is an API. Okay, so enough about static images. Let us move on to our video analytics. All right, so first I would like to show a demo, and then we will go about seeing the nitty-gritties and the basic concepts, right? So let us take a video. Let us take a video here, and in that video what analytics is available to us, right? So let us play this video here. Okay, and while the video is playing, so this is keynote a speech given by Satya Nadella in, I think, Microsoft Ignite event, all right, where he was talking about Microsoft Mesh. Okay, so what sort of video analytics are given here, right? So it recognizes that Satya Nadella and how much time he appears. So it appears 7 times, which is a total of 22%. This is Sam George, who appears a total of 14% in the video, and they are also giving you the times where he's appearing, right? So Satya Nadella was appearing in these frames. These are the frames, okay? These are the shots or the frames, and then he was appearing here, and what is the duration for which he's appearing, okay? And then he's appearing for so many times, and the duration for which he's appearing, okay? What all can you do? So you can get the people, of course, which is like your face detection or people detection. You can get the key topics. So what are they talking about? They are talking about outer loop, pending failure, operational dashboard, click deploy, intelligent edge, IoT edge, and what was the instances on which these keywords occurred. Okay, so pending failure occurred 4 times during this time. Operational dashboard appeared during these times. Okay, so if you just actually go here, it will navigate you to that location of the video, and then here, see, jump to next instance, and then it will tell you that operational dashboard. Yeah, see, operational dashboard. He said operational dashboard, and you can actually see that navigate to the exact location when he was referring to this keyword. Just a word of caution. These keywords are auto detected by the AI algorithm, right? So let's say if you want to train your video on detecting specific keywords based on your text corpus or your enterprise data, then you have to prepare those models accordingly, right? So here it is the inherent NLP algorithm which is running to extract out certain keywords which the algorithm feels are important in the context of the video, and it is giving you those keywords. It may not be an exhaustive list, or it may be sometimes, if you take certain more complex videos with more people and more interactions and more moving frames and more shots and scenes. Okay, so it may be like there are too many relevant keywords or too many keywords missed out maybe. So this is the inbuilt natural language processing algorithm for giving you the keywords, key phrases. All right, so it is giving you the keywords, key phrases. What else it can do? It can give you sentiment, overall sentiment of the video, whether it is neutral, and it also gives you how the sentiment changes throughout the video. Okay, so the positive sentiment was appearing at all these parts. Okay, neutral sentiment was, most of the video was neutral sentiment. Okay, and then you can actually, as you see, you can jump to the instances and see what he was talking of and whether that sentiment was really neutral or not. Okay, again, sentiment analysis is trained on industry standard models which can detect the presence of keywords highlighting positive sentiments like upbeat or increasing performance, or something which highlights the or increasing profits, those sort of things. And then these are industry grade algorithms, again trained on a lot of crowd funded text corpus to identify sentiments. Okay, then it also gives you key annotations. Key annotations is of the video tags, right? So this is a person, indoor, screenshot, floor, ceiling, Nintendo, computer, monitor. Okay, so these are the annotations of the settings of your video. Okay, so maybe there might be some video where you're shooting a video of a Niagara Fall with outdoor settings and stuff like that. So it will give you waterfall. It will try to identify any, if it is a very famous landmark like Niagara Falls, and it will identify the location. It might give you advanced links in being search for searching about Niagara Falls location, tourist places around that and stuff like that. Okay, and of course the most important thing in a video is transcription, right? So transcription. Okay, so transcription is your transcripting of the video. Okay, so written transcript, the text transcript of the video, right? So if you look at that, and of course it also does optical character recognition. So here if you see, there are a lot of charts going on, and it is extracting the numbers from that, and also it is converting the spoken text into text transcript. So whatever is being spoken, so basically your yeah, so what he's saying, and just look at what comes here, right? So as you can see, it is real-time text transcription. So it is speech to text conversion. Again, speech to text is its own cognitive service API. All right. Okay, so having seen this interesting demo, let us move on to some little bit of concepts. Again, promise I won't keep it boring. So there are two flavors of video analyzer. All right, so there is Azure Video Analyzer for media, and there's another Azure Video Analyzer preview mode, which is typically primarily for your IoT edge devices, right? So doing analytics on the edge, Internet of Things, IoT edge. Okay. We are currently working on one such interesting project for defense sector of a country, wherein soldiers are wearing hologram devices, and they are the hologram devices capture the whereabout of their territories, and so it's something like this. So it's something like we are having soldiers, and the locations, like the soldier is moving real time, so there are the soldier hops, hop 0, hop 1, the location of the vehicle here, so vehicle moving, the route of the vehicle, and then all these attributes are transmitted real time to the IoT edge, and then the video analytics takes place and charts out the best route for that, right? So all of these require a lot of custom machine learning, custom video analytics on the edge and IoT edge, and that is done by using the Azure Video Analyzer, which is in preview mode. The Azure Video Analyzer which we are talking about is the Media Analyzer, and which is currently in GA, is generally available, and can be readily used, consumed in your applications. Okay, so it is this one, Azure Video Analyzer from Media, is part of the Azure AI as a service stack. Okay, and it's built on the Azure Media and Azure Cognitive Services. So cognitive services for custom computer vision, recognizing objects and text, and the static images which we saw, right? Okay. And basically for using the video analyzer, you just need to link your Azure subscription to your video analyzer account and start using it. Okay. So what are the sorts of how the analyzer takes place is, there are two things. Okay, so when you start a video, there is your video analysis and there is your audio analysis. Video analysis is the frames, the moving frames analysis. Audio analysis is your the speech which is going on in the video, right? So what happens in the audio analysis, you are able to detect all of these things: audio effects, sentiment analysis, transcription we saw, right? Then voice activity detection, whether your intonations are going up, down, emotion recognition, whether the speaker is emotionally charged and he's trying to make a emotional statement, or he's trying to emphatically state something, or he's speaking very neutrally. Language identification, what language the speaker is speaking in. Transcription, so transcription meaning transcription of the language. Okay, language transcriptions. Topic modeling is what is the keywords in the in the topic or in the speech the speaker is trying to convey. Okay, keyword extraction we saw. Brand detection, so if we are talking of any known entities or any known named entities, right? So known people, known locations, known brands. Okay, that is the audio part. For the video part, you have face detection, face grouping. So whether that same person, like we saw for Satya Nadella, right? It identified that there are two different people occurring throughout the video, and then it grouped them, right? So face detection, face grouping. Best face selection. Best face meaning when it is showing you the thumbnail. So again, just go back. Okay, and let us, yeah, here, go here. And when it was showing you the thumbnail, right? So thumbnail, it took one headshot of Nadella, which it according to it is the best face. Okay, so the clarity and the best image to detect and to recognize this person as Satya Nadella, right? So this is the best face detection. All right. Okay, best face detection, face identification. We will scene segmentation, short segmentation, and keyframe extraction. We will discuss in a short while, because I need to introduce you to these concepts like short, keyframe, and scene. Right? Rolling credits is your credits which are the start and the end of the shooting. Okay, so it will identify that this is the start of the video, this is the end of the video when the credits start rolling. Labels for your video. Okay, so which are talking about the annotations, right? So whether it's an indoor, outdoor, daylight, waterfall, nature, scenery. Visual content moderation, meaning if you are trying to flash some objectionable content into your video, you can moderate that. So depending on the type of audience to whom you are demonstrating the video, you can also have visual content moderation. Okay, observed people. So the people who are typically observed for most of the time in your video, and all of these, it will create an index of all of these things for you to have insights on your video. So just look at how much in-depth analysis this is providing you, both for your audio and for your frames, for your picture frames. Okay. what what is the need for video analyzer? So you have all this wonderful functionality, and you can do a lot of detection and transcription and transcoding, but what is the use of all these things? Okay, so feel free to add your own thoughts, but these are the few real world and enterprise use cases for video analyzer. It's deep search. Okay, deep search meaning if you can organize your video, if you can organize your video library and then try to search your videos using keywords. So what your YouTube does is it provides you video analytics, right? So tomorrow you want to search for a scene where Avengers Endgame Captain America scene, or Avengers Endgame Avengers Assemble scene, which was the highlight of your Avengers Endgame. So if I want to navigate to a clip of that, I will typically search with these keywords, right? So unless I have those insights about my video, like what are the spoken sentences, what are the keywords, who are the key characters, and unless I analyze and index those videos with these insights, I won't be able to do a search on my videos, right? So deep search is using the insights extracted. You can organize a library and enable people to search on keywords like, as I said, like Avengers Endgame, Avengers Assemble scene, or a Captain America fighting Captain America scene in these are few examples, right? Content creation. So content creation is creating trailers, highlight reels, okay, so teaser videos, right? And then having so when you have a huge video, right? So let's say, for example, now your Ignite event is coming up. So for Ignite event, you will have those teaser videos, or you will have those trailers going on, right? For highlighting the important content. So let's say Microsoft Mesh was a big thing, Azure Percept was a big thing, and then you create videos around those. So content creation. Accessibility is for people with disabilities, okay, or people who are not conversant with the English language, and then you want to have them transcribe the text in some language which is understandable to them, or having speech to text conversion or text to speech conversion. So accessibility is also there. Monetization is for people who are running ad industry, revenue industry. So then video insights will tell them the topics around which people are more interested in, and then tag their videos accordingly. Okay, so use this extracted insights to cater to the customer tastes. Okay, content moderation, as I already mentioned, that moderate the content. Just hold on. Right, sorry. So content moderation, as I already said, is moderating the content, whether it is objectionable and stuff. And recommendations is what you normally see with all your Amazon and Netflix and videos where people watching this video also watched XYZ video, correct? So I mean expanding your customer reach, outreach. Okay, so recommendations. What features you can extract? Some of the features we already saw, right? Video insights, you can extract face, celebrity, account based face identification, meaning if I am training my video analyzer on faces which are very specific to my organization, okay, or my context, my custom use case. So that is account based face identification. Thumbnails, which we saw, like the best face extraction. Visual text recognition, which is OCR. So if there are certain uh, 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 numbers or certain text in your videos, it can be extracted out. Content moderation, labels identification are the annotations which we saw. Scene segmentation. So what is a scene? So scene is basically a series of shots, okay, and then so let's say there is one particular for the first 5 minutes is about Satya Nadella talking about Microsoft Mesh, okay. So which means it is a set of shots in which Satya Nadella's position and the backgrounds do not change significantly. So that is considered as one scene, which is a collection of frames which are more or less similar to each other. Now let's say after 5 minutes in the video, there is Jorge coming in, or there is Scott Hanselman coming in, joining Satya Nadella, or maybe Satya Nadella exiting and Scott Hanselman taking over and explaining some new concept. So that is a scene change, correct? So now, which means someone new has entered the frame and your frame has altered significantly, right? So it's not exactly same as the previous frame. So this is the scene change. So now this scene has changed. So this scene segmentation is also done, wherein it comes to know that now this was one scene where Nadella was speaking with a blue background in the back of in the backside, and now suddenly Scott Hanselman has come in and this is a scene change. So this scene segmentation is very important for us to extract out the exact time we want for us to see in that video. So when for example Jorge was talking about operational dashboard, I need to be able to actually navigate to that particular scene when he was talking about operational dashboards, right? So this is scene segmentation. Short detection is your keyframes. Black frame detection, so whether it's a transfer frame or black frame. Keyframe extraction are the keyframe extractions are the important frames here, which are giving you what you can say, extracting best information about your video. Rolling credits, we saw, like the credits at the end. Animated characters detection is in preview, right? So if you have certain holographic characters here, or you might have certain animations there, then that can also be detected, but it's in preview mode. Editorial shot type detection, so which is tagging based on shots like wide shot, medium shot. So these are very photographic jargons. Okay, so close up, two shot, multiple people. So these type of shot detection. And observed people tracking. Okay, so location of the person in the video, exact timestamp, and confidence when a person appears. So when I say that Satya Nadella was appearing in the first 5 minutes and the next 10 minutes and the last 10 minutes, then it will give with a confidence interval, right? So confidence score like 90%. I think this was Satya Nadella reappearing back in the end of the video. Okay. Audio insights also, most of them we have seen. The things which I see important are audio effects. Okay, audio effects, like for example, it can identify certain effects like gunshot, glass shatter, alarm, siren, explosion, dog bark, screaming, laughter, crowd reactions, which is cheering, clapping, booing, and silence. Okay, it can also have emotion detection. So that is what is being said, right? So how it is being said and what is being said. So emotion can be extracted out with joy or sadness or anger or fear or neutral. And audio effects detection, it's in preview mode. So acoustic categories, again this is very recording related jargons. So with audio effects, it was trying to extract out the effects, but with audio effects detection is also the acoustics. Okay, acoustics for these type of sounds, gunshot, screaming, and stuff. Okay, and all of these will be extracted out as a JSON object, and you can use it for tagging your videos. Okay, and there are multi-channel audio and video insights, which are like keywords are extracted out of your audio also, video also. Named entities are extracted out of your audio also, video also. Topic inferences are extracted out of both. So topic inferences meaning what are your keyframes talking about. So if your video was totally shot inside of a studio, then it's only the audio which can tell you about what is being communicated. But let's say if it is a series of changing locations where some person is shooting a documentary of his travel diaries. Okay, so he's been to Kenya, then he's been to some Amazon forest, and then he's been to some wildlife safari. So then even the video will tell you a lot of inferences about about stuff going on, right? So it will extract out inference even from the videos depending on the locations and scenes. Okay, and sentiment analysis, right? So both positive and negative from speech and visual. So visual text, maybe, you know, if it is a documentary on World War, or the nuclear bomb explosion of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, then it will give you the sentiment as negative, where it is showing deaths and gory bloodshed and stuff like that. So just appreciate the beauty of the information which you can just extract out using a simple API. So all this has been constructed for you, and you're just, you know, interacting with all of this using just basic Azure subscription and APIs. And this is a wide, rich variety of information which you can possibly get out of both your audio and video. Okay, so this was the preview analyzer I was talking about. This is mostly used for IoT solutions with video analytics. Okay, so it still uses your video analyzer with media, but it is more for IoT solutions on the edge. Okay, Internet of Things. Okay, and this is in preview mode. Okay, so once it is a bit more matured, then we can have an in-depth discussion on machine learning on the edge. So computer vision training, custom computer vision models on the edge. Okay, this is a very important concept in my view, where we were talking of scenes, shots, and keyframes. So scene is something which I said, right? You know, it is comprised of a uh, uh, various shots. It is comprised of various shots. So this is one scene where, you know, three people are seen interacting, and shots are different frames in that particular scene where they don't significantly change. So I can still see three people, the background remains same, but maybe now there is a close up of two people because they're answering something, and there is a close up of this guy because he's asking something. So all these things comprise of a shot. Okay, all these shots comprise of a scene, and all these shots comprise of keyframes. Okay, so keyframes are the frames which will talk about the background, okay, of the color of these. So this particular shot is maybe made up of some keyframes which are giving me most of the information about my shot. Okay, so keyframes make up shots, and shots make up scene, and scene are used for segmentation. So maybe in this first scene, these three people are talking, and then, you know, there is another scene where all of them are getting up and receiving prizes and something like that. So there's a change in their orientation now, right? So these are the same three people, but they are sitting and talking now. Maybe there is a shift over, and they are getting up and shaking hands and all. So that is scene two, maybe comprised of another 5 or 6 shots, or 1 or 2 shots, depending upon the change in the keyframes. Okay, so this is the correlation between scene, shots, and keyframes, and all of them are keystones or foundations for building up your video library. Okay, quickly in the last 5 minutes, let us look at, you know, how you can annotate your own videos. So it's very simple. You need to create your videoindexer.ai. Go to this videoindexer.ai. Let me copy it out. All right, let me put it in the chat window. Right. So this is your editor, indexer.ai. You need to log in with your account. So I have my Azure subscription. You could create an unlimited account where you need to sign in with your video subscription, resource access and stuff. Okay. And then that's it. You can start adding videos. So if you click on add videos, you can you know, whatever videos you've downloaded, you can use them. Okay, so currently I have no videos in my account, right? So if I have videos which are uploaded to my Azure portal, those videos will be imported here. And then once you have these videos, you can just click on view insights here. What sort of insights? So let us go back and let us look at. So this is the video indexer AI only. So they will, you have library, you will have projects, and you will have samples. Project is where you can create your own project. Sample is, projects which are pre-created using some sample videos, right? The challenge which I typically face is I was not able to download any YouTube videos, because in Singapore it doesn't allow you to download and save videos offline. At least for me, I face that issue. So unless you have some Vimeo or any other videos which you've or your Google Drive videos where you can import it and create a new project, that is a different thing. So in the samples, let us, analyze one particular video. So let us analyze this video. Okay, this was uploaded by Microsoft. So this is all open source content, no privacy breaches or anything of the sort, right? So now this video is playing. What all we can, so this is about modern web development, right? And then if you click on the view insights, so this was already the video insights were created, right? So it was talking about modern web development insights. What was the insight? It gave you three people, right? Ed Shabinu, correct. So it gave you three people, which is Ed Shabinu, then you have Sam Basu, and you have Robert Greene. Okay, so these are the three people. You could search also. So if there are many people and many frames, you could see that it gave you the keywords, the topics of the video, what it is talking about. It was talking about .NET MVC, and it is categorized. So .NET MVC web applications and are all technology related, right? Webpack, JavaScript, and there are 12 more topics here. Okay, so these are all education related. It has also segregated them. Okay, keywords. What were the keywords which were uttered? There were, it detected 100, more than 100 labels, which was screenshot, person, electronics, computer, indoor, and you can actually click on that and say play next, and it will. Yeah. Yeah, so here you will see all the keywords which are uttered, all right? And then named entities. Named entities are your people, organizations, locations, geospatial indexes, right? So Mac Almond, Arkansas. If you look at that, and if you say play next, yeah, so it appeared here, this one, right? At this point, it appeared at 1 hour 14 minutes. The mention of Mac Almond, Arkansas was there, right? Sorry. Right. Okay. And then 70, okay, emotions were joy and fear. Okay. And you can do that. 26 scenes as we discussed, right? So scene segmentation was given. So initially was a white frame. Then these three started speaking. Then they started presenting something else. Then they started speaking in a different orientation. Then they started highlighting something. Okay. So scene segmentation was done. And what were the shots? So in the first shot, what we first seen how many shots, and in the shots how many keyframes, right? So that is also, every time you click on that, it is going to pop up the video, right? So this is what we were explaining about shot and scene. So here in this scene there are 43 shots, and in the 43 shots, what are the keyframes, right? So keyframes make shots, shots make scene, and all these insights are also extracted out for us by the are extracted out by the video analytics. So just take some time just to appreciate the rich feature set which is which is available, made available to you, and how you can interact with it. So I have given a sample link here. Okay, so as simple as that, this is your C# SDK. Okay, C# code. So you will create your you'll create your indexer API, you will create your account location API key, which is your normal, creation of Azure resources, get the subscription key. Okay. And then upload your video. Okay. Wait for your video to be uploaded. Okay. After you get, so this is wait for your video to upload and finish indexing. And once it is finished indexing, you can get all the insights by the use of your uh, APIs. Okay, so this is your API for getting the searching the video. This is API for getting the widget. This is the API for getting the widget URL. And similarly, you will have APIs for getting the topics and labels and emotions and everything. So just API based communication. Upload your video, create your account, and that's it. Interact either via APIs, which is normally how you will do with when you're interacting in your applications, right? So yeah, that's about it. And I have also included a GitHub link, for one step-by-step analysis of your videos, like how to create projects, how to assign keys, and this is an entire end-to-end working of consuming URLs using C#. Okay, the other support also is there using Python and Node.js. All right. So yeah, if you just want to deep dive, these are all the machine learning concepts. But then if you really go get into the nitty-gritties of that, I am sure all of us will fall asleep, right? So just get your Azure subscription and get set and go having video analytics in your application. All right, that brings us to the end of the topic, and I would be happy to take any questions or comments or anything basically.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Priyanka. That's really great information. Actually, to be honest, few things it's kind of new to explore. A lot of things for me specifically. I don't know what about others. But if any queries before that, I'll come up with my queries. I have a couple of queries also. So any other queries? Anybody else in from the meeting? I cannot see any questions actually in the chat window. So
Yeah, Swanand is asking, do we have access to recording? I'm sure, right? Golok will
yes,
make it
yes, yes,
available.
yes. Recording is there. I'll post in the chat window. I'll post in the LinkedIn also. I'll share with you also. So if you follow in the LinkedIn, you will get. Actually, I post in the platform link, right? If you join the platform, okay, let me paste it. It will be uploaded here actually. User group. Okay. So once you click on that, you join there, you will get the recording. Not a problem. So any further questions? No questions. Okay. Priyanka, actually, I have a couple of questions. One question
Sure,
is
go ahead.
you mentioned it's API based. So what I'm thinking, let's say if you we go ahead with the Power Apps platform, Power Apps development, for example, any app I will develop. In that case, also I can use this video
Yeah,
analyzer.
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. So
Uh,
there is one tutorial which is, talking of how to use the logic apps to
mm,
embed your video analytics, right? So it's
okay.
quite possible using Power Apps, logic apps. Yes.
Okay, okay, that is also one of the thing. And one more thing, actually, I thought there is one scenario, for example, in current scenario in COVID time, right? People are spitting here and there. So this is also, I think, we can identify using the video analytics. Will identify who is doing that and all these things. Specifically, it is not applicable to individual level, rather it is applicable to organizational or government point of view. They can analyze, right, the details, who has done what kind of activity, any mischief or anything. Is
Yeah,
that
so actually, again, if you go on the Azure website, right, there's a strict disclaimer that they are not selling the video indexer or facial recognition or image recognition tool to governments because it could be
okay?
potentially misused, right?
Okay.
So yeah, so it although it could be harnessed, right? If your what is this organization decides to track you and stuff, but
Mm.
ethically it's not allowed and it's not sold to governments for them to sort of track you down, and
Okay.
it's not there. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big disclaimer on the website that this is not sold to governments so that they can misuse it.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So actually, real life scenario, practical scenario, if you think where exactly it can be, I saw there are a couple of options you mentioned that YouTube video analytics, one of the option and all these things. But I'm thinking, what could be another scenario it could be we can use from
So
organization.
normally what happens is, so let us look at, yeah, so Anand is asking what can be the use case for any financial institution. So I will tell you from my experience with my previous organization. Okay, so I used to work in a investment house, right? So
Mm.
insurance investment house. So
Yeah.
most of the people there were analysts and portfolio managers, and so they used to be interacting constantly on Bloomberg. Okay, so
Mm.
Bloomberg terminal, there used to be analyst call transcripts happening. Okay, so
Mhm.
could be sometimes video conversations, sometimes Teams calls between different stakeholders. So LATAM analyst versus TAML analyst and stuff like that. So it is very difficult in that scenario to have a minutes of a meeting sort of a thing. So all these earning call reports or earning call transcripts, which we call them, are uploaded to Bloomberg. So Bloomberg will have a video library to sort of index those videos, like what were the so this meeting which happened between XYZ analyst and XYZ client, what was it talking about? Okay, what was it actually? What were the key phrases there? What were the key highlights there? So it's like a real-time summarization of the call which happened. Could be an audio call, could be a video call, right? So we had actually done a machine learning project on analyzing this call transcripts and getting out what you can say account related financial insights. So let's say there was a call happening between one particular portfolio analyst from my company with the GlaxoSmithKline, okay, with some key stakeholder from GlaxoSmithKline. So then depending on the call, basis the call, we will try to gauge whether GlaxoSmithKline, how is it doing, what is the financial performance based on the intonations of or the confidence of the guy who is trying to pitch in about GSK shares and stuff like that, to sort of give hidden insights to our analyst and help him make decision whether to onboard this client or not. So lot of these use cases, so financial institution, as Swanand said, this is how we used it in Bloomberg. So having a video library, having a text summarization real time for Teams conversation between different stakeholders, between CIOs and portfolio managers. Okay, another use case could be for financial institution, could be your how should I say, see, for finance world, right, there are no such specific taxonomy or ontology models which are matured as your normal machine learning taxonomy for your general topics or general keyword search. Okay, so for financial institution, whenever there is a talk going on for or your finance news going on, right, your share indexes and all those things going on, then all those videos also could be indexed and people can do a search, like yesterday what was the share point or share price for Wipro Technologies, what was the share price of Microsoft 10 months ago or on October 10th, and what are the relative performance of Microsoft shares pre-COVID, post-COVID, stuff like that. So all those things also, if these videos are organized in some library, in video library, could be YouTube or could be your local if you're working in JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, then you could have your own video insights, right? So videos where your key financial people are speaking about your performance and your share prices and all those things, they could be indexed and people could do a search on them to make investment decisions or to have clients on board. So a lot of use cases for these scenarios.
Okay. I think Swanand also got his answer. Okay, then actually we are already 5 minutes ahead.
Yeah, right.
Not taking much time. Okay, thank you everyone, and thanks for joining. Thanks Priyanka for giving us insights on this. So maybe we'll go ahead with the Azure subscriptions. Actually, I have already. I'll try out with this, how the things are working on. If any queries, I can reach out to you anyways.
Sure.
Any of you guys have any queries, anything, I posted in the chat window. You can reach out over LinkedIn and Twitter also. Priyanka's connect social link I have already provided. And thank you everyone. Have a great weekend, and thanks Priyanka for joining the session. So that's all. Let me stop the recording.
Thank you so much. Have a good day, good weekend.